Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BVO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know, shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know, every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know, I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show, this is BVO.
On behalf of BVO Boxing TV, we would like to thank our sponsor, Raycon. Don't forget to grab your Raycon Everyday Earbuds, the perfect bass model for premium sound, with active noise cancellation to block out distractions and transparency mode to keep you aware of your surroundings. They're ideal for your everyday needs. Just visit rayconglobal.com. That's rayconglobal.com and elevate your listening experience.
Yo, what up, man? Welcome back to another great show with my brother Sombrero. Shout out to my brother Sombrero, aka BVO Boxing. We got my brother Free, the master debater is in the building, you know what I'm saying? We got one of the great young historians in the sport of boxing out here, as well as a great political mind in the great brother Marky Dan. Welcome to the show, fellas. How y'all feeling tonight?
All right. Great show we had earlier today, Dub. Right side, Marky Dan.
Absolutely. Man.
Yeah, I'm blessed, bro. How you doing?
Well, yeah, we can finally hear you. About time.
Yeah, you now.
Shout out to the Soul Brother in the building, man.
Shoot to my man Varnell Hill, man. You know, you
got play my drop. No, play my drop. Go on and play my drop.
I do it for the children. You can take the children and bounce them on their knees. Bounce them on the knee and then sing a melody. The Varnell man, did you mean he's mine?
My.
Shout out to see, and this is the problem right here. Man. We trying to run this show, man. We can't even get me. So look, man, I want to get right into this thing.
Man, Puerto Rican Free, superstar, Varnell Hill. Salute to my man, West Indian Marky, or what's left of him. And we got a huge conversation tonight. So I want to make sure. Yeah, shout out to Opperman, man. The only dude I know with a leg that's shorter than the other, man. Shout out to my man Opperman LD, man. I know his leg, one leg is longer than the other, so salute to him. But I'll say this, man. I want to talk about something that kind of was on my mind. I don't know if you guys seen, they are trying in California to have men play against women, even though our president just signed an executive order, I want to say 3 weeks ago, to stop this. Why do you think these guys, why is Governor Newsom thumbing his nose at women's sports like this? I want to hear from you, brothers. Go ahead.
Well, I'll start off with this one. Matter of fact, no, I want my brother Marky Dan to start off with this one. He the political mind on the show. So Marky, he ran. So let me I'll just put it out there. It's out of order. And it's not just happening in California because they were just talking about a picture out of Minnesota softball in high school. A man or a biological male, I don't want to disrespect nobody, a biological male You know what I'm saying? That is making a transition, playing softball and pitching, and they showed the scores. They getting blown out over there, and off of the pitcher, off the pitcher alone. Pitcher with everybody else throwing 60 something, the pitcher throwing 83 out there. I'm saying, what are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, we should always. It's so interesting to me when it comes to this topic. We always speak about protecting women, right? Women and children. That's who you want to protect. Well, in this situation, you got women and children combined in one as far as high school women's sports go or high school girls sports go. You got it combined in one. And I see folks argue, no, that person should be able to do these type of things. No, it's out of order. I'll start with that. That's my opening statement.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's nasty work because these biological women are going against transgender women.
Go ahead, Puerto Rican Free.
Yeah, it's crazy because they at a disadvantage. It's already bad
He heard that
enough.
Free fall down the steps.
No, you can't hear Free. I hear him
No,
talking.
BBO, you fell down the steps, man.
Oh, I'm out of order.
You know, he giving his
But I
his
fell down the
entire
steps. My
opening
bad. Go ahead,
statement.
Free.
He giving his
It's, I
entire
mean,
opening statement. You couldn't
That's that
agree more.
Cleveland Wi-Fi.
Go
yeah,
ahead, Free. Say it.
it's just bad because you have men that for whatever reason they do what they do. I'm not judging nobody. I'm not God. I don't make that judgment. But you want to play in a sport where the sport was meant for women to play. They have a men league, they have a women league. But because you decide to change your sex, you want to play with the women, but you have the strength and I don't know how to say it, but
The
yeah, the
ability.
abilities like a man. And so these women are at a disadvantage because okay, you have women that's transgender over to men, but they ain't trying to compete with the men because there's no competition. If you have a man transgender over to a woman, he's going to be naturally stronger, faster than a woman. You transition a woman over to a man, she's going to be naturally slower and weaker than a man because she wasn't born that way. It is what it is. A man's body is built to take on more, it's built to be stronger, it's built to be faster. Women's body is not built that way. Yeah, you have some women that's stronger than men, you have some women that's faster than men. But for the most part, the women's body wasn't built that way to compete with a man. Their body was built to compete against the same sex. So when you having these transgenders playing in a sport where there's all women, of course they're going to be the best of the league, or they're going to be the fastest, or they're going to hit the hardest, or whatever have you, because that's how they was born to be. They was born to be physically and the ability to be better than a woman because it is what it is.
Yeah. I am not in support of no males transitioning to females playing in the female category. I think that's wrong. I think it's immoral. Um, a man's bone and skeletal structure it's almost three times as dense than a woman's. That's not even talking about the muscles, our testosterone, how we grow differently, we run faster, or excuse me, I should say on average, we run faster, we lift more, we can do more, we can handle more endurance. I'm not in support of these guys that transition because to me it's just a grift. Like you just doing that because you want to ease your time and because you want to be able to say I'm a champion, but no, you're not a champion to me, bro. Like I'm not going for that at all whatsoever. Like I've seen some young women have their dreams stolen, like at state track meets with two where they had two boys. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna call it. There were two biological boys, and they ran and and like they outlapped all of them. I think it was a 400-meter event. I think it was in the state of Alabama. I'm not 1,000% sure on the state, but that's wrong, plain and simple. I think now I don't think that transgender athletes should be excluded from sports and athletic activities, but I think there should be a separate category for them because you're not you're not a biological cis man anymore. Or excuse me, you're not a biological cis man anymore. You're a transgender woman. So compete against other transgender women. You
But
can't
but but
compete
but
against other
but Marcus,
biological women. That Go
I
ahead.
don't mean to
What
cut
is
you
a
off.
cis
Hold
man?
on,
What is
real
that?
quick. Hold on, real
A
quick. I don't.
non-transgender man. That's somebody who is that you're a cis man. I'm a cis man. That's just
Hold
liberal
on.
terms.
I'm a.
Don't worry about it.
You said sis,
Yeah.
like sister.
No, cis just means like the term is cisgendered. It's just a word that leftists and liberals
All
like
right.
to use. But for the
Okay.
purposes of this conversation, I'm using the word cis. It
Let's. How
just
about?
means somebody who is not. Oh, okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask the question because, like you said, you think there should be a different category, right? It's not, and I say it's not enough for a different category. Just being honest, it's not enough, right? And so that's why historically speaking, it's been one or two categories, men or women, right? And my
Yeah, flick
whole
your camera.
say it again.
No, I'm talking to somebody in the back. My bad. Flick your camera. I just want to make sure you're a person.
If it's mixed, he good. If it's mixed, but um, my whole thing, it ain't
All right.
enough for it to be one of the, or for there to be a third category. There's not enough people. I say that respectfully, and it's not enough of what. It's not enough in the middle. I'll say to be to have this category that you're speaking on, and I mean, it just shouldn't be happening the way it's happening. I don't know what people feel how they feel. I can't tell them about how to feel, but at the same time, I think there are limits to these things because y'all remember when you had the girl, I believe it was in MMA. She literally broke the other girl's face.
She broke her
Literally.
skull.
Yeah.
Right, literally. And it's like, hold on,
Mm.
man, that ain't that. This is why we go directly against men putting their hands on women because we just biologically we're stronger. So I'll pass the mic, dog. My apologies for being long.
I'll say this. I'll say this. Just me being a host in this thing, I would say this. We can call it tomato, lemon, pepper, whatever. Men are men, women are women. The classic song by one of my favorites, Mr. Rogers, was "Boys are boys and they'll never change. Girls are girls and it'll never change." So if Mr. Rogers was to sing that song now, people are so mentally ill that they would think that's offensive. Um, and this is coming from a man with daughters. My oldest daughter plays softball this year, right? And I couldn't imagine a boy playing with them because he's going to dominate them just off the fact of being more focused. I remember watching one of the little girls, they was running, and she was running trying to make sure she didn't bump into nobody. So she ended up getting caught because she tried to bump into nobody. And I just think to
How old,
myself when it
how
comes
old is your daughter?
to my oldest 16.
Okay,
Oldest 16.
that's the age group you're talking about.
Yeah,
Okay,
16.
okay.
So I'll say high schoolers.
And
And
I was gonna make the point real quick because you in soccer league and when you 8 years old, girls actually they grow faster than boys at a young age. So when my son is playing soccer, that type of thing, some of the girls out there are bigger than him. They ain't as fast as him, but they just as big. Some bigger, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
when you get to that level that you hit, or when you hit puberty, and you get that testosterone boost, that's where things really change. Go ahead.
yeah. So we talking about before. So basically, what we speaking of is boys and girls before 12. Before 12, that's 12, 13 is when puberty starts. At 12, they pretty much even if the girls are bigger, they're going to be slower than the boys. So it doesn't really matter. It levels
I, I
itself
have
out.
I have a
Bro,
question.
hold on. Let me get through this monologue. The
Go ahead,
whole
my
thing
bad.
is that when we are trying to understand what's going on as parents, I think, this is exactly why you see Donald Trump gaining so many people loving him and respecting him because our president has made this something that he cares about. He went as far as to sign an executive order. People didn't know that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was an executive order. They never even signed it into law. So he was able to just unsign it. So I just want to say this. When we talk about women playing against men, that's unfair. It's unfair, and it's always the guys who couldn't compete with the big dogs. Like they had the guy Lena Thompson. He was an athlete that was originally a man, and he said that he as long as he wins, that's all he cares about. But just imagine those poor young girls that's been training so hard to lose to a dude. Just crazy. Because I don't care what you do. Ain't no woman beating no man in basketball, football, soccer, golf, nothing. Nothing. We seen Joanna Man. I'm sure everybody's seen that movie. He was busting their heads. Can you imagine if Ant Edwards played in the WNBA? I mean, he'd be throwing the ball at the backboard, doing windmills, all that. So we got to just call it what we see, and I think it's disgusting. But I'm going to bring my man Mex in here. What's going on, man? What you got for me, dog?
Shout out to my brother Mex, man. What up, Mex? No
Yeah,
cussing.
what's good, man? Should I agree with everybody on the panel, man? On the flip,
Come on, Max.
Your mic out of order. Your mic out of order.
oh, my shit's fucked up. Oh,
And he still cussing.
Jesus Christ, Max.
Yeah, it's a little choppy.
all right. Is it better?
No.
Yeah.
It didn't sound good. Go ahead, keep talking. Let's
No. Okay.
No, go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
There we go.
Yeah. No, I was saying I agree with what everyone's saying on here. I think anybody in their right mind knows the difference, but at the same time, I'm not mad at it. For everybody that thinks men and women are equal, let's give them some examples. Let's remind them. Let's remind them who the big dogs are, bro. Like there's a pecking order in this shit. You know me,
come on,
Dub.
Max. That's three curse words. Come
No
on, Max.
cussing, bro.
Oh, I didn't know we could cuss. My bad.
Throw you out of here, bro. No
Yeah,
cussing.
I didn't know we could cuss. My bad.
we BBO, we on BBO show right now as well. So he got his sponsors and things that we got to respect.
Okay, my bad. Well, like I said before, me, man. I always said women are fourth tier athletes, man. So I don't think it's fair to put any first tier athletes around fourth tier athletes in general, and with specifically men and women. So like I said, it's professional men, college men, high school boys, then professional women. That's pretty much the pecking order thing. So I don't agree with it. I think that if my daughter was into sports and there was a dude playing, especially physical sports, I would protest against that. But at the same time, if they want to allow it, then they're going to have to suffer the consequences of whatever may happen, which a lot of times there are injuries to women. So, yeah.
What I would say is this: there was a funny video going around. The number one high schooler in America. He's a young man. I can't think of the young man's name, but he challenged Aja Wilson to a basketball game, and apparently they played, and he dominated her. And he's like 17. He dominated. And for people who don't know, Aja Wilson is the WNBA MVP. She's pretty much she's the joker of the WNBA. And a 17-year-old boy had his way with her when it came to the basketball court. So it's crazy, but
I haven't heard that, man. I haven't heard that.
I gotta send you the thing.
But
Because they're
just going
gonna
off
put
that
it out
point.
for a deep. They're gonna put it out for Nike. Go ahead.
But just going off of that point, we watched the high school soccer team dominate the women's national U.S. team.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying anything crazy. It's just that. I mean, it's levels to it, and young men who done hit puberty, they're probably gonna win. Like the best basketball, the best high school basketball team go beat probably the best WNBA basketball team right now, and it probably be a 20-point game.
Yeah.
Easily. And that's also why I feel like it's our responsibility as parents I hear parents tell their young women dumb stuff sometimes about, oh, if a guy doing this, just kick him in the nuts and do. No, you will not win. You run and yell at the top of your lungs for help and get away. Don't ever try to be physical with a man thinking you gonna be able to. I mean, if you got a weapon or some shit, it might be different. If you got a little something in your
Hey,
purse
bro,
type
you
shit.
cussing too much, dog. Come on, dog.
My,
Respect
yeah, my
yourself,
bad, my
man.
bad. Man. I got used to not. My bad, man. I'll be
Yeah,
on so many
he
pamphlets.
Don't say
yeah.
my bad. Just
So,
don't cuss, bro. Just don't cuss. We
but
good. Go ahead.
but yeah, I think it's our responsibility to remind our young ladies of the same thing because at least I live in California, so a lot of things being taught in school out here is very liberal, and
Y'all out of
it,
order
it's
in California, boy. Y'all out of order.
yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
leading them down the wrong path. So I try to remind my daughter like I don't know what they're teaching you in school, but physically, you're not equal to a man. Like your value may be equal. Men and women are equal as humans. Value, our value, but when it comes to physical situations, you're not. So don't put yourself in situations thinking that you can take a man on, or if someone's harassing you, you can just kick him in the balls and protect yourself or whatever. Nah, 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 nah. No, absolutely not.
I'll
But
I'll
I
say
don't think that should be something you should have to teach or really have to explain to kids. Or maybe kids the same age. Maybe they do have because BVO did make the point that everything before 12 is pretty equal. But I don't even think that should be something that should be explained or taught. That's just a self evident fact that a man, or excuse me, that a woman cannot compete, or I ain't gonna say I ain't gonna say I was about to say a woman can't step to a man fit. I haven't seen some women whoop the hell out of some men, but generally, you do not ever, as a woman, you don't ever want to step to a man, because if he really decide to come out and go full force against you, he can hurt you or potentially even end your life. And that's not no exaggeration. That's just a self evident fact.
when we talk about this thing, we got to bring this up. So Simone Biles, who is despicable, got upset with a young lady who said,
You said
which
she
Dub alluded to,
you said she despicable.
the way she the point that she's trying to defend this whole boys playing against girls. I think that's despicable. I
Okay,
think that's despicable. That's
okay.
just me.
No,
I
no, you
mean,
good.
if you if
No,
you
you
agree with that, you agree with that.
good.
But
Go ahead.
I think it's one of them things where when I heard her say that, as a person who's followed her, celebrated her, and her accomplishments, I just say, you know what, I miss Dominique Dawes, man, because we didn't have when I was a little kid, we didn't have people saying stupid stuff because they want to get on Riley for what she said, but it's true. There was a boy at the mound. They, I, I got daughters. I've seen these girls. They're not beating no boy. They're just not. They're not. We're talking about, and this is from me watching this. I'm a little different. I'm actually watching women's sports. I've been to WNBA games. I've been to women's soccer games,
Damn.
and it's horrible. It's horrible to watch. The
No, no.
only game.
Some of them got some game now. I like certain
No,
players.
listen.
Some of the players got
There's
some
only
game.
listen. The Juju Watkins.
Yeah,
That's
she
a
can hoop.
1 in 10,000.
Caitlin Clark.
That's a
Olivia
1 in 10,000.
Miles.
Man, you could go to
I
your
mean,
local YMCA and see the same thing.
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is. What I'm saying is this: I mean, we talk about the few, the two and few. I'm telling you, I've been there. Those are 1 in 10,000. You seeing the Juju Watkins? The reason everybody's so crazy about Juju because on a lower level, she could probably compete with men at a lower level. But you don't see that type of skill, that kind of coordinate. You don't see Maya Moore is out there, dog.
Shout out to Maya
Angel
Moore.
Reese. Angel Reese is garbage. She
Don't do
missing
it.
layups. She missing layups.
Nah,
She can't.
nah.
No,
Angel
no.
Reese is
I'm
out here
talking.
looking crazy.
No, we
Trash.
talking for real. She's garbage.
Like this girl, she's
Garbage.
shooting 30% from the field. Like
Hold on. Let me
that's
let
No,
me
no,
finish.
no,
Let
no.
me finish.
She,
crazy.
she, she, she's shooting 30% from layup range, not the field, from 4 feet and out. She's
She's
shooting 30.
garbage.
That's crazy
She's
work.
garbage. And you know what's so funny about it? Me and Dub's old butt can do better than that. I mean, if you put me and Dub in there right now, we getting 15 rebounds a game, at least. At least. So don't tell me about her getting no double doubles. She didn't miss 5 and got 4 back. She's garbage. But I said all I have to say this, man. Simone Biles defending men playing against women, you're disgusting. And I wish they could take your medals back because you disgrace America with the way you're conducting yourself. But go ahead, Fred. I want to hear from you on this, man.
I mean, like I said, it's you can't put a man in the same sport with a woman. I mean, a man, if you place a man in a race against a woman, and they both had the same amount of training, 9 times out of 10, that man is going to win. You might get one time that man might come in there and he's not feeling well, and that woman actually beats him. But the other 9 times, that man is going to win that race. If you put a man in a boxing matchup with a female, 9 times out of 10, that man is going to beat that woman. You put a man in a basketball game, one on one with a female, same size, same weight, 10 times out of 10, that man going to win. If they have the same amount of training, 10 times out of 10, that man is going to win. It just you can't expect a woman to compete on a high level against a man. So when you putting these transgenders in there with actual women, and you wonder why these transgenders is so much better because they're biologically a man. They supposed to be better. That's what the way they was built. They was built to be a better athlete. Women naturally wasn't built to be athletes. They
And
became athletes. They wasn't built to be athletes.
I
Men
want to
was
say
built to
this.
be athletes.
I am finished, Dub.
I don't know. I want to just say in throughout nature, the man 9 times out of 10 of what the species is, the man is the bigger, right? The bigger individual, the more or the more physical individual. I want to
That's not.
ask, why are the and I want to go back to what BBO said earlier. What's with and my brother Max, he out there in California, he knows what's going on, but what's with the individuals saying, no, 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 we want to allow this. We definitely want to allow this. When I think the majority of people look at it and say, this don't even make sense. So
Um,
what do you see? What's with
Let me
that?
say this real quick.
Go ahead.
Let me say this to kind of clear what you're saying. I get what Dub is basically saying. Where is the outrage? Where are those parents that are out there saying something? And I'll tell you like this, Dub. A lot of us, including I will include you
they
in this too.
voted.
A lot of a lot of us young parents, we really don't want to say nothing because whenever we tell the truth, someone's hurt. Prime example, my sister Shawa, when I say Angel Reese's game is garbage, I can't say that without you assuming I'm saying she's garbage as a person. I'm saying the way she plays is garbage. But people so sensitive, they only hear what they want to hear. So that's what happens to where almost like when people say they support Trump. If you support Trump, they say you're a racist, you're this and that. But no, I could support Trump and not be none of those things. That's just what I decide to do. And it's so crazy now. If you don't fit into the vacuum of what people are doing, they call you everything but a child of God. So I get what you said, Doug. And in my humble opinion, just moving back to the subject, I'm just shocked that so many people came after Riley, who's standing up for women's rights, real women's rights. What do you think about that, Doug?
It's interesting because I saw my girl Jamel Hill, right? And Jamel Hill came out and said something to the effect of, and brought up the fact that, and I'm just trying to bring this all back together, but brought up the fact that Simone Biles was dealing with the pedo doctor over there. You know what I'm saying? That or whatever physician, whatever he was. And
You
I
talking
was
about Larry Nasser?
thank you. But I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, well, yeah, because that individual was that individual and she had to deal with, but still don't excuse the fact that she's saying you're doing this out of hatred when I'm not, I don't hate, I try my best not to hate nobody. And so all I'm trying to say is it's not right. if it ends up and whether it's wrestling, whether it's baseball, whether or excuse me, softball, volleyball. I remember seeing a time where a guy went up and spiked the ball against a girl, broke her nose, had a leak. And so all I'm saying is it don't matter what sport it is. Serena Williams, possibly the greatest female tennis player of all time, was like, I would never play Andy Murray. The reason I wouldn't play him, he'll beat me in 10 minutes, three sets, or six. He'll beat me in 3 minutes. Oh, excuse me, maybe 10 minutes. I might last 10 minutes in that match. It's a totally different game. I couldn't play him, but we had these people coming out saying, no, this is okay. No, it's not okay. And then at the younger level, especially when physicality is involved, whether it's basketball, not so much track, you know what I'm saying? Soccer, we've seen it, even softball. Imagine a young lady get hit with a 83 mile an hour fastball, underhand fastball from the softball. Imagine that happen. This, this individual throwing faster than some of the pitchers in the Olympics. What are we doing? This is ridiculous.
The sad thing about it all when it comes down to the get down. You know what? There was it was in Delaware, I believe. A young lady got raped, and they said, how did this happen? Some young man uh was posing as a woman and raped a young girl. And I'm gonna just say it like this: it's going to, you know what? Some of us fathers, we might have to take our boot off, man, and spill some blood, because at the end of the day, we're not going to let you hurt our girls. And I think a lot of times, from what I'm seeing, these young ladies that's coming up now with their fathers, these are going to be some really, really good young ladies, man. And I'm excited to see them. And I just think the world and these people that are brain dead are going to hurt us all with this whole notion that women should compete with men. Women have their place, men have their place. Because I'm going to tell you one thing about a woman. A woman can't inspire a man to have a kingdom. Because all most men want is a nice bed, something to eat, and something to tear up. That's it. But a woman will inspire you to get a beautiful house, get a nice land, get a nice lawn, get nice clothes, get a nice car. Men don't necessarily do that stuff for themselves. And I think anytime you try to justify your mental illness or what's going on in reality, I think it hurts us all, man. And I'm going to ask you guys this. Do you guys think women's boxing will ever be the same after seeing that guy who was in there, who they thought was a guy or had a bunch of
Well,
testosterone? Do you ever
well,
think that will be, you think women's boxing ever be the same? Go ahead.
well, you talking about the Moroccan boxer. Well,
Yeah.
firstly, she's not a transgender
Yeah, she's
athlete.
not. No, she's not. She's not. No, she's not.
No, yeah, she's not. She was born with female parts. Came up her entire life. Was raised as a young lady. She just has a genetic what's the word I'm looking for?
Defect.
Deformity. No, she has a genetic deformity that gives her an X and a Y chromosome like a male, so she gets testosterone. But I don't think she should be banned from competition because I mean, Shaquille O'Neal was born with way more testosterone than probably 99% of the earth. Does that mean that because his body grew to 7 feet tall and to sustain 300 pounds that could explode off the ground, does that mean he should be banned? So I do agree with y'all on the transgender issue. I will never tolerate somebody that went their entire life, went through puberty, and then 1 second they decide to quote unquote transition and want to go compete against other women. I think you just crap out of luck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Go figure out something else to do with your life because I'm not gonna tolerate it. The people of this country, they made it clear in this election, trans I'm not gonna say transgenderism itself, but I feel like a lot of LGBTQ plus ideas were really smacked down with that vote and with that election. So y'all gotta figure out what to do with yourselves. You can't compete with these young ladies anymore. And then quickly, because I didn't get to touch on Simone Biles. Simone Biles is this is a clear example of leftist it's really the last holdover, I think, of wokeism. Because before, in the past era, you had all these leftist coalitions like Black Lives Matter and the LGBT Q plus community, and they were being funded by Democrats and billionaires. And not only that, the media was pushing them very hard. So before, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, if she'd made a comment like that, she would have got huge support. It's not like that anymore. And she saw the backlash and she realized, oh, I need to get up off of this. Like I think anybody who actually, especially somebody who competes as a woman, anybody who says that a male, or excuse me, a biological male should compete against other biological women, I think you're sick. Like I think you are sick in the head. Like I genuinely think that, because there is no logic or reason. There's no data to show that it's equal. Like I remember, I think it was back in 2016. I can't remember the person's name, but they were transitioning from a male to a female, and they were a cyclist. This person came in and broke all the records. I'm talking about all the records for their distance against other biological women. That's not okay. And then, because we were in that media space, they would allow that person to come on TV and say things like, "Well, if I think I'm a woman, then I am a woman. So why can't I compete against other?" No, y'all are sick. Like y'all, something is wrong with some of y'all. And I don't think, and while I agree with gender affirming treatment, that does not mean that we have to affirm what's going. Well, that doesn't mean we have to affirm what's wrong with you. Respectfully, if you in your
What I
head
would
think
say
that
is this.
you're
Let me
well,
say this.
I'm
Let me
not
say
finished.
this,
I'm not
Mark.
finished, bro. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You was going a little bit, but let me say this real quick. I get what you're saying, but and this what I ask you, Free man. When does it stop? When does it stop? Because I don't know what people want you to do. We talking about biological women, biological men. I heard somebody say a man can get pregnant. Like, these are laughable things, bro. Like, you got to be insane to have these conversations, bro. Like, we're talking about this. I mean, you know what? That's why we got people like Keyshawn Davis fighting in the hallway, talking about, I don't know about a dad. I never had that. I don't care. We don't need no dad. We're going to jump on Fernando Vargas, too, because we want to fight ourselves. We're going to jump on the dad. That's why we got these out of control, dumb niggas running around here with
Hey,
who
that's not
shiesties
Cosby Show.
on.
That's not Cosby
It's
Show.
excuse me for saying that word. Excuse me for saying that word. You got these dumb idiots walking around with ski masks on in the middle of summer. You know what I mean? I seen it today. Like, a dude had I said, what you got this ski mask on for? And I kind of let him know that I had a weapon, because all I seen was a ski mask. And it's like, you got the nerdiest dudes with this on. It's like, this is why we getting so bad as a culture. China's laughing at us. India's laughing at us because we doing this stupid. We talking about this stupid stuff, and there's so much more we could be doing. And that's the part that sucks. The only thing that gains traction is foolishness, man. That's the only thing that seems to gain traction now is foolishness. Not the fact that, it looks like America is starting to make a comeback. It looks like America is trying to return back to family values. It looks like America is trying to return back to keeping fathers in the home, people being married. And then we get this bull crap. Simone Biles, our greatest gymnast of all time, Olympic gymnast of all time, wants to get up there and pander to these people about how men should be going against. That's crazy. We talk about BVO is a big fan of the Cosby Show. They didn't have to even talk about this stuff on the Cosby Show. This is insane, duh. Free, this stuff is insane we talking about. We're talking about men that want to compete against women who can't beat who can't be the man, so they want to be the woman. It's like, what are you guys doing? We're talking about 10% of the population. Why do they dominate the news cycle like this? I
They
don't get
not
it.
ju-
What you
they
got
not
there?
even 10%
I
of the
was going
population.
into it.
They 0.1%, 0.4% of the population, something like that, something crazy, or I don't know. But I want to ask real quick. I want my brother. I want because Max he lives in the county where this stuff is allowed. So I want to hear this. I want to hear your opinion on this, Max. With you living in the county where you have these type of things going on, where I'm at right now, these type of things, it's not for to happen. You know what I'm saying? But you in California, uh,
Uh,
can you give us your perspective on what's happening in your city?
while I was responding to the comment about the girl who got stripped of her track title because she used a fire extinguisher on her shoes. That happened right here in a local high school, and then apparently they let a transgender compete for the high jump. Um, I mean, it's kind of like that slippery slope argument, right? I mean, because me personally, I feel like it's a mental illness. You know what I'm saying? When you think something you're not clearly, and other people lead you to believe that and enable you to believe that, I don't think it helps anybody. I think people probably need to go some type of counseling, therapy, and try to work that out with themselves if they truly, truly believe that. But I think a lot of it too, when it comes to children, I mean, everyone knows that children go through phases in their life of a lot of things. You know, they have a vivid imagination. They're very curious. They want to, figure things out and experiment things. And that's just like a child's nature. So I think that's why it's more important for us as parents to be able to have more navigation over that. But unfortunately, the way that a lot of things are set up, a lot of parents are at work, kids are at school. Uh, I feel like kids interact more at school a lot of times than they interact at home with their family. I mean, usually you wake up, you go to school for 8 hours, parents go to work for 8 hours. You're not spending another 8 hours when you get home with your kid before it's time to go to sleep. So, on average, you're spending more time at school. You're learning things that the school wants you to learn, the teachers want you to learn, the county, the school system wants you to learn. So sometimes when, as a parent, you got to try to reverse that or go against that, and it's kind of hard when it's like, well, my mom and dad are telling me one thing, but everyone else in my life is telling me something else. So that's why I think it's important to have a strong bond with your children and explain that this stuff is not normal. This stuff is weird. My daughter totally understands that. She sees the transgender at her high school, and she's like, "Oh yeah, dad, there's this guy, this girl, this person, that person."
How old
But
is your daughter? How old is your daughter?
she's
Respectfully.
16. She's going into her junior year.
Whew. So she's seeing them.
Uh,
Man, that's crazy work.
Oh, yeah, we see it all the time. We see them at the mall and all kinds of. I mean, and over here it's a big gang culture too, and you'll see transgender so-called gang members.
Hey,
You know what
hey,
I'm saying? Like,
No,
it's
it's
wild.
interesting you say that, Mac. It's interesting you say that because one of the things I did, I moved back to the country, right? Because um, there was a time that me and my son, and he had to be all of 3 or 4 years old, and we're going to the Walmart. We getting out the car, and it's a dude with braids, probably down to his calf muscle. But my son asked, he asked the question, he said, "Daddy, why that man got so much hair?" And I was like, all right, all right. And kids, they be youngest, right? They be youngest. And I was
Yeah.
thinking to myself, I was like, man, nah, I can't have him around this. And he'll fit, when he grown, he'll figure all that out. But I don't want you around that type of stuff right now, man. And that's why we had to move out the city. I had to get away from Atlanta.
yeah.
That's a
Let,
my
fact.
Oh,
brother
that
says,
makes sense.
yeah. Let me
shout out
let
to the
me
cat.
let me
What you
let me
got?
say
Hey,
something
Free,
quick.
before you go, Mark, we got to get Free in here. Free been too quiet. What you got for me, Free? You ain't gonna sit here and be quiet, Puerto
Yeah, go
Rico. What
ahead.
you got?
No, I just feel like when you ask the question, when does it stop? It's going to stop when somebody do something to one of these transgender because they're upset that they lost to them, or one of these fathers jump out there and do something. That's when you're going to have people saying, "Hey, we got to stop this." But until then, they're gonna keep doing it. And the reason a lot of people won't speak out about it and won't be as an outrage like they are rioting in LA right now is because of they don't want to be considered
Label.
as a yeah, pretty much
Label.
racist. because
That's
you
look,
got
that's a hate
everybody got
free
they
real.
they have
If you put
they
if you put your
Let him
hand,
finish,
if
Dub.
you hold on, if you put your hands on, and I say it respectfully, you put your hands on a transgender individual. That's a hate crime these days.
yeah that's
That's federal. That's federal. I'm telling that's federal. Well, let
yeah
me say
yeah that's the
that's
reason why they
not
they won't
federal.
speak
Let me
out about it.
rephrase that. That's a felony. I meant to say that's a felony, not federal. That's a felony.
But let me say something though, because Mex
Let
touched
let
on
let, let Free finish. Free got cut a little bit. Go
My
ahead,
bad,
Free.
yeah,
my
I
bad.
keep
I'm
getting
out of
cut. Go
order. I'm out
ahead.
of order. I'm
Yeah,
out of order.
but that's the reason why people won't speak out about it because they don't want to seem like they hating on a certain group of people. And but in all actuality, this group of people are taking advantage of the fact that nobody's going to speak out about it. So they found a loophole to be able to do things and nobody speak on it because of everybody so quick to say, "Oh, you can't go against those type of people because they have rights too." Well, what happened to the rights of these individuals that was born that way and just trying to compete with people that's just like them? If you want them to be able to compete, like Marky said, they need to compete against other individuals that's like them, not against people
Mm.
that's normal. And I hate to use the word normal, but it is what it is. Not against people that's normal, but compete against people that's just like you. If you want to have them be able to play softball, okay, they play. You have a whole transgender softball league. You have a whole transgender track and field league, a whole transgender basketball league. There's enough of them out there where you can have a whole league full of them. They want to go ahead
No, it
because
ain't. No, it's not enough of them. My bad.
I mean,
no,
I
it's
mean,
it's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. I mean, I see them all the time in DC. It's a lot of them. It's a
it should
bunch of
be
them.
just like a Special Olympics type of thing. But let me read this comment. Shout out to
Go ahead.
Hoop Zone. He said, "This ish is crazy. That's wild. Is having them in elementary schools, middle schools during a time kids' lives where they're easily influenced. Ish is crazy." But go ahead, Pittsburgh Chicken, and we're gonna let my man Marky, go ahead. Go ahead, Pittsburgh. What you got for me, dog? Then we're gonna let my man Marky
Uh,
go.
Shout out to my brother
Salute,
Pittsburgh.
fellas. Salute, fellas. As far as
What's
this
good,
go,
Pittsburgh?
this is the women's fault. They let Caitlyn Jenner, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing the name right, become Woman of the Year when he put some silicone on his chest and then cut off his man parts. A lot of these women welcome this stuff in, bro. They welcome it in like these people is down for them, and they don't realize that these people feel like they have the right to fight men, they have the right to fight women, and like you say, they'll hide behind hate crime. And on top of that, we had a referendum against that. That was part of the political stuff because of tampon Tim in this state where they wrote that law where they was letting little putting tampons in boys' bathrooms in the schools, public schools. So like this stuff has went too far out of arms of people trying to defend just to defend, and they don't realize what they're doing. This is our children that we were doing this with. We ain't talking about no adults. You got them, and then you got Dwayne Wade, worst father ever, out here caping and acting like he only got one child that's part of the rainbow. So that's the other part of that, and they get all the attention from doing this. Some of these people are attention, that they just love attention, so they'll do anything for attention, not realizing the detriment that they're causing to society. And women are getting displaced, and a lot of these women like hanging around those people because they feel like they fun, but dumb people will flip on you in a minute, and they not really down for them like that, and they find it out in the worst way. And like I said, they feel like they can fight women, which is crazy. I don't understand the rationale behind a lot of this stuff, and it just trickled down from you talk from the adults, and then when you start trickling down to the children, you can't do anything to the point of kids, even to the point where the parents are losing some of their say so on what they can and can't do. So some of this stuff has just got so far out of whack. I think we trying to autocorrect. I think we went way too far with this stuff. We can't lose the majority for the minority, and that's basically what we've done.
Yeah, I nah, Pittsburgh T, you said a lot there, man. I do think a lot of people do it, especially a lot of celebrities, they do it for attention, and I would go as far to call some of that stuff child abuse. Like I saw Megan Fox. She had her three little boys. These were three boys that were under the age of 7. All of them were in wigs and dresses and lipstick going to the park, and they were crying their eyes out. Like it's something wrong with you that you would do that to your own child, that you would force that on your own child. Now let me say something. Um I don't I don't necessarily agree with the Zaya Wade situation. I think that that young lady or young person, whatever you want to call her or him or whatever, I do think that she is suffering from gender dysphoria. From the studies I've seen, 40% of the people that identify as transgender who don't receive gender affirming care, they attempt suicide. So I don't have a problem with people having their identity affirmed within their family or their social group. I don't have a problem with them building communities in the area that they live. I think they have a right to have their humanity acknowledged and respected. But when it comes to teaching, like trying to push that stuff in school, like the stuff I was seeing with where they were trying to have drag queens come to school to read to kids. Let
Out of
them
order.
ever bring that stuff down here to the Virgin Islands. We will run them out with machetes and fire. I'm telling you, like that. No, like that. That's not like what is wrong with you? Why are you put like it, and it comes to a point because I consider myself a center left leaning person, but I don't jump off the cliff to be a leftist because it comes a point where y'all need to be stopped. Y'all need to stop. Why are you trying to? Why would you want a a drag queen reading books to children? What about that is informative or educate or good for their education? So I think like I said, within your family, within your social groups and your friends, and even in certain places within your community where maybe you could find other transgender people, I think their humanity should be respected. I don't think that because unfortunately back in 2019 I read this statistic. There was over 300 transgender people that were lynched, murdered, burned alive,
Oh
that were
my
hanged.
God.
What happened?
You can't use those words, man. Just say unalive. This is
Hey,
YouTube.
My
It's
apology.
YouTube. It's
I'm
YouTube.
okay. Okay, I
we say that
apologize.
all the time. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. All I'm saying is, yeah, I don't have any problem with those people having their own spaces in society. Go ahead. Just not sports. Absolutely not.
Hey, I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna say this. One thing that we do here on in the sports talk that we have conversations. Please, people, understand nothing we saying is personal. Nothing we saying is personal. I have no ill will in my heart. Dub has no ill will in his heart. Free doesn't. These are regular conversations that don't happen, and we're not scared. I'm gonna be honest. We're not scared because at the end of the day,
There they go. Hey, y'all see how they,
BBO.
hey, he got cut out. He got cut out. But hey, like he said, we ain't scared to have these conversations. We got my brother Major Key in the building. Major Key, what's going on, fam? How you
Major
feeling?
Key.
What's going on? What's going on, people? How y'all doing?
What you got for us, man?
Well, first let me ask because I kind of, I mostly agree with the gentleman that was talking prior to this gentleman that just spoke. But he's from the Virgin Islands. So where you from, brother?
I'm from St. Croix, Twin City.
Whoa, well, you know most of my family lives in St. Croix. You know the Bellardo family?
No, but Balado, that's a really like if you try rocking St. Croix, you could hit a Balado.
Yo, no. No. Bellardo, you actually still have somebody that's up in the government there, Lillian Bellardo O'Neill. They're O'Neill and
Yeah,
O'Neill. They used to have a hotel. But yeah, that's my family. She was a senator for 12 years. She's still involved in the government down there. But anywho, look, so
big up, bro.
yeah, that's what's up, man. You know what I'm saying? So I've been down in Christianstead and Frederickstead. I've been all around St. Croix. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Fruit,
sir,
you know
my
what I mean?
bro.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. I
we got a
interviewed
reunion.
Julian Jackson and everything, man. Yo. So
Now we
anyway,
got a
look.
reunion. Go ahead.
So no, but with this situation, look, that this hit close to home because I'm not somebody. I'm an accepting person. I'm not just tolerant. I'm an accepting person, and the reason why, Dub, you interviewed me before. You seen that when iTalk interviewed me and stuff like that. My mother, became gay when she killed my father, who was a cop. You know
I
what I'm saying?
do.
And it
I
was,
remember the
and so
conversation.
I'm sorry, unalived. Unalived. I apologize. I've been gone for a few years. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. I remember the
From
conversation,
doing
though.
content. But nevertheless, you know that story, right? So
Right.
with that being said, what's crazy about it is that she always just reflected on the fact that she understood that she just made a sexual preference choice, right? And that was all that was. And so, even though I'm accepting, I mean, I know people that have gone through their little transformations and stuff like that. But here's the thing: me myself, I also will not participate in somebody else's illusions. That's just me. I just can't do it. I don't think it's healthy to participate in other people's illusions. You know what I'm saying? Because anyone can have hallucinations about what they think they are, but in reality, you are what you are. You know what I'm saying? I cannot condone that full heartedly and expect that I'm doing the right thing. As a person that wants to do the right thing all the time, you know what I'm saying? I just won't acknowledge it or I'll step away from that situation because I feel like their immediate family, their loved ones need to help them in that situation. But when it comes to sports, now you're bringing it to a different level where it's exposure and you're actually trying to say that this illusion that you're having to yourself and with your immediate whoever's condoning it and allowing you to believe that and continue on and being supported, now you can bring that into to a sports level where you have an advantage against other people and you can do them real harm and damage. I feel like that is, you know what I'm saying, just like that's insane, bro. It's insane that we've even gotten to that point where we're even debating this. That's unfair.
I
It's
agree
unfair.
100%. I agree 100%. It's very unfair. We got my sister Shawa in the building. I want to hear her point on this whole situation. Sis, what's going
All right.
on? Much love and respect.
Shalom, everybody. I don't understand. What is the question? You guys have been talking about different stuff here.
Well, the question would be, how does it feel as a woman to see women have to compete against men? How does that feel?
Having to compete against men.
Yes.
It's appalling. I don't understand why women would ever advocate to fight, whatever, fight, play ball, swim, you name it, against a man. I mean, I have an idea that there's an agenda, but I don't like it.
What you think the agenda is?
Confusion, literally.
You said
And
something.
and I
Go
think
ahead.
it goes deeper than that, but I don't know that I want to do that on BBO's channel
I
tonight.
got you.
When
We
we say when you say there's an agenda, are you saying like from like a outside force, or are you talking about more of a demonic force?
um, I guess that would be both. That could be synonymous because that would be outside of what I think I am, right?
Hmm.
Would
I
you?
think it would be called the powers that be, and I think people underestimate how sick in the head these people really are. I think they are demon filled, so it's outside and it's also within, I guess, to some degree. But I just believe that and I think some of it's okay. I'm gonna go there on your show tonight, but I'm gonna be
Just don't
cool.
cuss. Just don't cuss,
I
Queen. You
won't
could go as far
she
as you
don't
want.
cuss.
So where you go to go,
I
just don't cuss.
She
I
don't
ain't
Yeah,
cuss
gonna
you
like
can go
cuss.
as
that.
far as
She
you
don't
want,
cuss.
Nothing I'm about to say has anything to do with cussing. I promise you. So we know that there is a worldwide issue that's going on with a certain group of people, a certain group, oops,
Hmm.
and they can't have children the same anymore, right? I think that's part of it. I think it's their angst, their anger, and I know it's another group of people that don't have no problem having a bunch of babies. And if you can confuse those other people's children and make them think that confusion is okay, then you cull their numbers. You keep them from, having children.
Are you
While
saying
y'all,
the birth rate is down?
You keep
Are
them
you
from reproducing. That's what you keep them from doing, and you
yeah,
keep them
you keep
from
them from
keeping
having
their
children.
from their lineage moving forward.
And they're
And
trying
so
to
let me
get
ask you
men
this.
from a
Are you
certain group. Go
let me
ahead.
ask you this one question. Are you alluding to Europe has been losing the birth rate in Europe has went down 10 points
Yeah,
almost the last what was it? Let me look at this. Let me pull it up real quick. The last 5 years, the
it's
birth
really
rate plummeted. I think it's
it, it's
40%.
it's been longer than that, and it's America, it's Europe, it's Japan, it's China, it's Italy. Like it's
Nah,
non.
China is secure. China
No, they're
birth
not.
rate
China,
is
No,
secure.
they're not. And
China,
I'll tell you why exactly
They
they're
got too
not.
many boys. They don't have enough girls.
Exactly. And now, if you really go look at their culture, and it's similar to Japan, a lot of those women, and this is North Korea, is not North Korea, South Korea, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to have anything to do with their own men.
Mm-hmm.
You really just got to look into their culture. They definitely, China specifically, definitely um, deleted a lot of girls for a long period of
a
time.
ton.
And now these women, they don't want anything. And a lot of these men are like incels. So this is why these countries are pulling on a certain group of men to come to their countries and have babies with their women. Because they know the women aren't interested in them. They know a lot of them can't even produce the children. And at the end of the day, melanin is a necessity. People want melanin. It just is what it is. And I think that again, the powers that be are not happy with that. I do think that there's an agenda. And I just think these people are sick as well. I do. They have that's the Roman way. That whole setup. You know what I'm talking about.
She
You
lying.
know it's funny you say that because it says in the Bible the Antichrist will have no desire for a woman. And not to get too biblical, but we not like I said, we're not afraid. We're not afraid in the sports talk number to talk about this. But I think to what Shaw was saying is there is something demonic coming because this was never a conversation when I was growing up. When I was growing up, I was born in 1990. I don't remember in the 90s as a little kid hearing people talk about this stuff. Um, it's kind of disturbing because you hear Japan is offering black men a king's ransom to come and produce with their women, which what Shawa alluded to, which is, I mean, I understand. It's like the only place that's integrated in the world is the bedroom. I don't want to get into that, but what do you guys think about that, man?
Love is love.
I mean, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm Caribbean, bro. Puerto Rican, Dominican. Most of my family live in St. Croix, so we already doing what we doing. You know what I'm saying? Like half of my family, you know what I'm saying, ranges black. Half of my family ranges white. So you know what I'm saying. For me, it's really no difference for me. But as far as the topic at hand, you know what I'm saying. Like I just feel like a lot of people are supporting mental illness, and I don't think that that's right. You know what I mean? I think that we need to be a little firmer in the way we handle these topics and you know what I mean? The gentrification and everything that's going on right now, man. You know what I mean? We're getting a little too soft. This is why this country's dying, bro.
I think
Yeah,
it's interesting.
I'll
Go
agree.
ahead, Marcus.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Marcus. Go ahead.
No,
Hold on, hold on. Let my
I
man
had.
Ricky Timms get in here real quick. We're
All
gonna let
right,
Ricky
good.
Timms get in here.
Oh, we got
Ricky,
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Before we let him get in here, I got to give my brother his introduction. Y'all know I always got to give my brother. Hey, we got my brother from the sunny
Is
side,
that
man.
Malcolm X?
Hey, hold on now. This brother is from the sunny side of Houston, Texas, man. I always gotta tell y'all that when I see my brother. He from the sunny side. Shout out to the sunny side, man. And it's sunny right now. It looks sunny where he at
Salute,
right now.
brother
So
X.
shout out to my brother Rick Timms in the building, man.
Timms, the money man.
That's the big homie right there. That's the big homie.
Hey man, what's up? What's up, everybody on the panel in the chat?
Salute, salute.
Dog, I'm at work. I can't be long, but I'm gonna be strong. Check it out, man. What I chimed in on, what I heard Shawa was talking about, in a nutshell, man, these white folk are terrified right now, y'all. Their numbers are going down. They birth rates are declining. They can't have babies as fast as we can, with them recessive ass genes. So that's why all this abortion stuff going up. That's why this interracial shit has skyrocketed. Shower mentioned that melanin, man.
Rick, you can't be cussing now. You can't be cussing. You got to be in order.
Okay.
You got to be in order.
Yeah,
Cool.
come on now, brother X.
No, but yeah, in a
My
nutshell, man,
apologies for cutting you off. My apologies.
this melanin is extremely expensive, and they need it. They know their numbers are by 2050, they're gonna be the minority in this nation.
Yep.
And that frightens these people, man. So any little uptick they can get, any little head start, any little privilege, any little anything, these folk are gonna go after it. And I don't know if y'all touched on these boys, these men and women sports, but I don't agree with that, man. If you're born with your male equipment, you should compete against the males, and vice versa. But that's all I really want to chime in on. I can't get too graphic and I can't stay too long because I got to get back over here on my post. But I just felt like saying that because if we realize the type of power that we possess as a people, intellectually and spiritually more than anything, a lot of these issues we deal with wouldn't exist. Sadly, we've been so Europeanized, we are literally out of our African minds unknowingly. But I don't want to get too deep and get too tactical, but just wanted to chime in on my buddy
Rick,
right side for a minute.
Hey, Rick,
What's
look,
up?
we got the conspiracy show, and the funny thing is, when we get into these conversations, I call them conspiracies, but they ain't conspiracies at all. But we setting a schedule because we need to have these type of conversations. You know this is what I love right here. You already know how I am.
Yeah.
Hey, Dub, invite me with Tim's, man. Invite me with Tim's because I'm gonna tell you right now, man. We all know that whoever controls history is controlling the narrative, and we need to have a real deep conversation about that one of these days, bro.
Look. There is a conversation. You need 4 hours. You need 4 hours for this 6 hours, maybe. Respectfully, BB. I don't want to disrespect.
The funny thing about this whole conversation, can y'all hear me?
Now you crispy.
Yeah.
Okay. The thing that's so cool about this conversation is Shawa woke up something I was reading that Marcus Garvey was talking about. And he was talking about the deterioration of the black mind. And when you say deterioration, you think something happened. I think a lot of times, me included, I'm speaking about myself. Sometimes, man, we've really bought into a lot of these Roman antics, man. And I tell you what, when you read about the Romans and the Greeks, which a lot of our culture is based on, look at our buildings. They was living foul, man. So this is just a tip of the iceberg, man. And whenever you see a man and a woman going at it, it's crazy because you don't hear about no birth effects with black men and women, brown men and women. But it's the other side that I would say they're nervous about being taken over. What do they call it? White fear. Roland Martin wrote a good book about it. I don't like Roland Martin at all, but he wrote a really good book called White Fear. And it kind of goes into that. And I just think at the end of the day, man, forget all that. What about these kids, man? We are leaving a legacy of just foolishness, man. And I want Shaw to get back in here because she really bought another level. That's why I want her on.
Well, I wanted to touch
I
on
know she
Shaw's
like to hang
point
out.
before.
Hold on. You always here, Mark. You got special people here. You always here. You gonna have your day. But
All right, brother, go ahead.
the reason I say that is, man, because we know Shaw don't like to hang out with the brothers. I appreciate it coming on hang out with the black people, man. Thank you for coming to hang out with the niggas, man. Appreciate you, Shaw. But go ahead.
Wait a minute. Whoa. First off, you out of order. We ain't niggas around here. We not niggas around here. We
Well, my bad.
men.
The
You out
brothers,
of order.
the brothers.
Keyshawn Davis,
All
that
the
was
way out
nigga
of order.
I'm
activity.
sorry.
And we
My bad.
not supporting that activity. So don't put that on my
Okay,
name.
well,
Don't put that on my name.
correction. The brothers. My bad. The brothers. Go ahead.
Thank you.
I was going to touch on that real quick as far as the mixing thing and melanin, right? Like, if hypothetically, uh, you could just get everybody in the world to be mixed, right? Because the way we look at it now, if you have any kind of black and union mix, you're black, right? I mean, that's how it goes. You can be black and Asian, black and white, whatever, you black.
No, that's
So,
slave law, bro. That's not true. That's slave law.
I mean,
Hold
I would
on,
say that's
man.
how
Let the
society
man
looks at
finish.
it, at least in
Let the man
the
finish.
U.S., right? So,
We can't go
like,
to society.
if everybody ends up being mixed, then everybody in the world would just be black, and then we just we get on. Like, we'll be no
So
more
so
you
you
people, my
agree?
people. We all just be people as we should be. But unfortunately, people are still very, very focused on skin color and all over the world. So if we just all
No,
be mixed and just be mixed,
no,
then
no,
we don't
no.
have to think about that no more.
You missing it. You missing it. It's not that people focus on skin color. We focus on our culture, on what we were brought up on. If I'm going over and like they were bringing up earlier, Japan paying a ransom for a black man to come over there and procreate. Well, they're gonna take on because you're over in Japan. You're taking on the Japanese culture. We tr- we
You
we
would
preserve,
be.
we preserving ours. There's a
Well,
difference.
Dub, you know me. I'm the first person to say it's culture over color, right? But melanin has nothing to do with culture. So we're speaking specifically of melanin, then that does have to do with skin color,
Okay, so your
not
point.
culture.
Okay, all I'm saying is when you make the point of why wouldn't we all just end up being light skinned and melanated? Um, I'm just saying, in my personal opinion, it don't add up according to the reasoning I just gave you. That's all I'm saying.
See, and that's why I think that would be once to pick back off the men women thing. Sometimes you just got to let it play out so people can see how stupid they are ahead of time. Because then once everybody is the same skin color, then you'll see, oh, culture does matter. Because Japanese blacks are going to be different than Australian blacks,
We
going to be
know it
different than
matters
United
now. We
States blacks.
already know it matters.
No, but
We don't
but
need no more.
not in times of peril. Not in times of peril. Then it's all of a sudden, oh, you my brother, you my people. They're not because there's a different
Hold,
culture.
hold on.
No,
They
no,
don't see things the same.
you my neighbor. You my neighbor, and I love my neighbor. And because we're in the same vicinity, that's where we're gonna have that conversation. But no, we're not the same people.
Of course
We,
not.
so that's why I'm trying to tell you. We already understand it.
I mean, I'm looking forward
We
to some some catfish sushi with some dirty rice wrapping in it. You know what I'm saying? That's cool with me. You feel me?
And you know when you hear the term Korean fried chicken, you know what that was? That was the black soldiers that was in the Korean War that bought over fried chicken. And when you hear me call myself the Asiatic black man, it's because how can I hate what I create? Black Chinese come from black people. Everybody comes from black.
But
So
that we agree with that piece. I agree with that. But we don't have the same culture as black people. Don't have the same culture as anybody else. American white people don't have the same culture. Mexican people don't have the same culture. We all have different cultures and different understandings, different beliefs, all of that. So that's what makes us beautiful, first off. And then the second thing can we all go and repopulate with each other? I guess that's what you're saying, which I ain't got no problem with. I well, depending on how it happens, I'll put it that way. But for more or less, it's to preserve the culture. That's what it's really about. And for us to preserve a culture, a lot of times when you mix a culture, shout out to my brother Troy. His dad was from New Orleans. His mom is from the Philippines. So now
right.
when we go over there, I'm just being we for graduation. We got a low boil, you know what I'm saying, the low boil cookout, whatever, you know what I'm saying. We got that, but we also got lumpia and white rice. So it wasn't the same as what I grew up with. I'm just saying it's a mixture of cultures, and to preserve your culture, sometimes, well, not even sometimes, the majority of the time, you mix with yours. And I'm not.
What,
It is
what,
what it
what,
is.
let me do this real quick because we at home and we usually don't get a guest like Shower to come hang out with us. We got 15 minutes left, and I want Shawa to give us something we can use, man. Give us something we can use on this, because I know you got something for us. Let the brothers know something what you got for us on this one, because I know you got something special for us.
I don't think y'all want to hear me, because everything I've been hearing is babble and nonsense. There's a reason why there are nations of people, because the Most High created it that way. We were never meant to be mixing, and the reality is, if y'all don't know, look, I'm a particular group of persons. So
Tell us, a Hebrew Israelite. We ain't got no problem with it. We ain't got no problem. We respect it.
Yeah, I mean, I respect everybody's thing. So please don't be upset that I said that it's foolishness, but in my beliefs, which is the Bible and it's not Christianity. I believe that that Bible was made for a specific group of people. Those people are separate people. They were called to be separate from everybody else. So if y'all feel like it's in your spirit to mix, then then maybe you're not an Israelite, and that's fine. But me personally, even as a child, it was never my desire to go find a white boyfriend or an Asian. No, I don't believe in it. It's not in my spirit. I believe what the Bible says, that He made groups of people for a reason. He broke languages down separately for a reason. We're not supposed to all be a mishmash. You're not supposed to wear mixed clothing like fabrics, because it hampers your whole aura. Like there's reasons for everything that Bible said, and scientifically, oddly enough, it's panned out to be true. So for me personally, absolutely not. No, I don't know. I that's all I can say.
I told you I need to have a conversation with you. I got questions. And
And
everybody's mixed
I
now.
ask you this. Shawa. So, because I don't know much about the Hebrew Israelites at all. I'm just a little black Jew, Catholic brother. I don't know. So, so you're Jewish?
There's no such thing as a Jew-ish. There's no such thing as a ish anything on this earth.
No, the reason I asked you that is because when I went to, no, the reason I say that is because when I went to Jerusalem, they had areas like the Jewish side, then they had the Christian side. So that's why I was asking, where did you fall? That's all.
They had the west side now.
They have the Muslim side, they have the Jewish side, and they have the Christian.
Yeah.
It's kind of broken up in 3 areas.
Like, again, if I really, I don't want to get your channel in trouble, because those people ain't even supposed to be over there. Them is not the people.
Those ain't the Jews at all. I don't know how those white people got there, but
there's no such thing as an ish. That would be derived from Judah. Judah was one brother amongst 12. Technically 13, because the last tribe is 2 brothers. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot going on in this world. Everybody that's black is not the same, but I do agree with what you said, BVO, that everybody was originally dark skinned, and there's proof of that. There's proof of black, Chinese, Japanese, Indian, you name it, so. But then there was a virus that just kind of swept across this earth, a violent, virulent virus that we're the earth's kind of purging today, and actually it's the Most High, and praises to Him for that.
You know something funny, and I can only say this because I am technically mixed race.
I have family is mixed. I got
because my dad's from Sicily. When Europe was going through its problems, everybody from North Africa came and brought light back to, like when we speak about the Enlightenment, that stuff all came from Northern Africa, the people of Kush, which are very dark-skinned people. And they even have a statue of one of the they called him, what was he? He was
Morenos or
yeah.
Amor.
Yeah, he was a
You
Moor.
know that
And when they say Moors as a negative thing, what they're talking about how is like that's why people in Sicily are so dark, is because those black guys came there, procreated, and changed it. But they also brought Europe back. They were pretty much, walking around eating like dogs until they met us. I mean, so it's tough. It's a tough subject. But we're gonna let you finish up.
It is. I'm just gonna touch briefly on what you said. So before them, people were ever in Europe, and they admit that they're not the original European. There were black Europeans. There were black kings and queens up in Ireland. Like these, again, a virus came and swept across what we call Northern Asia to westward to Europe. And we know about colonization beyond that. So you fill in the blank as to who a virus would be. But there were black everything. And you said your father is from Sicily?
Mm-hmm.
Sicilians were absolutely, and even today, aren't they considered the darker of the Italians? And they were
consider
like
black.
discriminated
Consider
against.
the black people are whites.
Spain was black. Spain
Yeah.
was straight black, and they ran them people up out of there. Like, yeah, me and Dub, we should have a talk. We should have a talk about, because I love history and I love searching out what really happened in the world and in this country. Because the miraculous thing is, the people that we think are so very intelligent and high Q, they never hid any of this information. They never destroy the information that they change and they manipulate and they hide. It's hidden, but it's not hard to find. That's all I got to say.
Hey, sis, I'm putting my email in the back chat, man. Email me so we can set it up, man. Cause I love this. You already know I love this type of conversation. So I want to make sure that you know exactly where we're gonna go with it and those type of things. But I think this is beautiful, man. Brilliant right here.
Take me off the main thing, please. I don't like that.
This is the thing that people are missing. When we lost the Library of Alexandria, that was a lot of history about black people, and that whole fire wasn't an accident. So the fire of Alexandria, people don't understand Alexander.
Who said that it was
Alexander
an
the Great?
Yeah.
Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was actually trying to unify the African and European nations, and he just somehow fell dead at 33. So there's more to that story, but I know a lot of brothers don't know.
You read Stolen Legacy. You read Stolen Legacy because you already made 2 references to it, and I had that in my library. I guarantee that you're right about that. I know about that too, brother. So that's good that you're sharing that knowledge. I don't know about it.
And you know the funny thing about it, the reason I don't talk about the books I read is because my grandfather used to say something, because he's from Wynn, Arkansas. He said, the least you can do, boy, is go to the library and read, because they used to kick my ass for wanting to go. So when he said that, and this was in like 1996, I remember, like, I started off with comics, and then the first book I ever read, a lot of people probably haven't heard of this, but it was Rich Dad Poor Dad. And from that book, I ended up reading Where Do We Go From Here? Community or Chaos. And when I read Community or Chaos, which is a great book, Dr. King's last book, it'll change your life, because then you find out when you read the autobiography of Malcolm X that he was angry when he wrote that. And that's the cool thing about books. You can actually get a real life thought look into somebody at the time that they wrote it. So when people look at the autobiography of Malcolm X, it wasn't as good as it should have been, because Malcolm was so angry. And people don't know that. You know what I mean? So, Shaw, you open up a can of worms for somebody like me that's a bookworm.
Take my sister take off the main screen, man. She done asked 5-6 times. Please. My goodness.
Please.
Disrespect
my bad. I was trying to take her off while I was driving, man. Okay. I was driving, Dub. Dang.
Right,
don't be letting him have the controls.
I gotta start running.
See,
man, y'all made y'all made my cruising brother leave too, man. He was trying to get in. Damn, man, where's my cruising brother?
Now we getting ready to shut this thing down. I got an interview coming up.
Oh, really? Why you leaving, Doug? I'll run it for you.
I got an interview. No.
I'm just playing. Hell, I ain't running for you. If I run my own damn channel, I ain't running nobody else's channel.
But no. That's why I said we got to get, because I think this conversation can go for.
Oh, we out, Doug?
Yeah.
No, well, and what time we out, BBO? 05?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll
so
cut
we
it
got
short for
5.
y'all, man. Yo, pleasure always being up with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Invite me to one of these. You know, I love content when it comes to culture, bro. That is one thing that I will sit here and have a conversation back and forth. I love talking about culture. You know what I mean?
And we
You know, food.
and we ain't gotta argue. We can be respectful. I love that's the part I love
You
Yeah,
about
already
my,
know. You
my
already
bad,
know.
Shaw.
You already know how it
I
is.
was driving.
You know
I
what
didn't
I mean?
see the I didn't see the comments. My bad, Shaw. I apologize about that. I apologize. I didn't see that.
I just had to
But
say something.
wait, hey, I'm glad you said something, dude. How about that?
But no, Major Key, man, look, I'll definitely hit you up when we the next time we do a show, anything like this, I'll definitely hit you up and let you know when we live.
Yeah, man, because you know, I mean, just chopping it up on some other stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't really, with life and all that, man. I'll be doing my own channel if it was like that convenient. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I do pop up whenever I see you live, brother. You know, I gotta at least come in and show some support. But if it's a topic like this, I'll take some time out and really like dive it deep with people. Like I said, I already know he's referring to George G. James' Stolen Legacy because know thyself. It's on all the pillars over there. You know what I'm saying? All the entrances. Know thyself. You know what I'm saying? Over there in Egypt. Like this is history that was stolen. That's why it's called Stolen Legacy. You know what I'm saying? Socrates, you know what I'm saying? All these people that claim to know this knowledge, they gain that knowledge from stolen information. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I know about this. I'm glad he knows about this, and I wish everybody knew about this. But with that being said, yeah, have a great night.
Much love and respect, my brother.
All right, kids.
And I got an Easter egg for you from that. The story of Atlantis comes from Egypt. I want people to understand that. The
I
story
don't
of
know if that's
Atlantis
true.
comes from Egypt. No, they wrote it on the walls. It's on the walls.
Now,
Ain't about it being true.
well. See this. I ain't gonna get into it. We're gonna move forward. We're gonna. If I get into it, it's gonna be something totally different
We're
than
gonna
what
go
you.
down a rabbit hole,
No,
bro.
I
All
know.
I want to say
But
to
see,
that is, look,
shout out to Dub. Shout out to Dub for doing this because I never used to talk about this stuff. All I talked about was Little Red, Shakur Sanchez, Tia Homo, all those guys. That's all we talked about. So shout out to Dub for getting us out of just boxing, man. Salute to the light skinned brother from Middle Georgia, man. Appreciate you, Barnell.
Shout out to Georgia, man. But
indeed,
uh,
BVO, please look
Yeah.
up the birthplace of Thoth.
here we go.
Please,
The
just do that.
birthplace of who?
THOTH. That
Thoth, you made
EP
the thumbnail for me.
The
Thoth,
Tablets of Thobes?
Thoth.
Thoth, man.
Thoth.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Thobe. My
You
bad.
made
It may be. I don't know. That's not my guy. So
it
look
ain't
it
my
up
guy
though.
either. It ain't my guy. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Look at where he's from. I'm just saying, please. His origin.
We're gonna have these conversations.
Matter of fact, there's a free book on government. What is it? .gov.
Because you know, Shaw, they try to say that they try to say and I don't know this to be true, but they say the tablets of Thobe are a forgery.
I ain't gonna get
That's
into
what
all
they
that
know.
because me and Dub been down that road. But look it up. Look up the book Queen Mu.
You
Queen
said who?
Mu. MU.
Okay, Queen.
That's
I
another one that they
don't
say
know
is
that
a
one. I don't know
forgery.
that one. I don't know that
Queen
one.
They
Mu.
say that's a forgery. Yeah, that this guy I watched named Wesley Huff said that's a forgery as
Is
well.
that the
So I don't know.
what's his name? Let me just so
Hey,
I can.
Wesley
we gotta
Huff.
get the information. Put it in the back chat,
Wesley
video.
Huff. He's
Spell the
Wesley
last
Huff is the
name.
guy
Huff.
HUFF, like
Yeah,
Huff.
I got him up
H
here.
like when you
I
huff
got him.
paint. Yeah.
Wesley Huff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I already know who this dude is, a Christian. Okay.
Yeah. I know you know me.
Mm.
You know, because that brother
And let me
turned
tell
me
you
on to
something.
reading it.
Whatever
Go
he
ahead.
says about that Bible,
He can't even interpret it.
he
That what
was
you
not
said.
given the oracles, but it is what it is.
I gotta fight. All right. All right. I gotta fight you, sis. You already
I'm
know I
gonna
gotta
get
fight.
off because everybody's trying to get off, and I'll just keep bringing up everybody's head.
No,
I'm
this
sorry.
is the
I'm messing
greatest.
with everybody.
This is one of the greatest topics we can talk about, in my personal opinion.
Well,
It's
we
the most
gonna do it,
interesting.
Dad.
Yeah.
We gonna do it, right?
It's the most interesting.
And I
Absolutely.
want
Absolutely.
to I want to dual stream, so you're gonna have to hook me up on how to do that when we do, so I can be on
I
my page too.
I think I'll pull up. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
Email me. We'll talk about it. We'll make it happen.
I'm sending you
Yeah,
an
we
email
all
right
can
now.
through. We all three can do it. You know, I'm the
And jump
Asiatic
in there,
black man,
BBO.
but I don't mind talking about that. You know,
We still don't know what the
That's
Asiatic
fine.
black
Sound like a
man
Diddy
truly
party
means.
now.
I still don't know what
You know what?
play the drop, BBO. Play the
You
drop.
know, party like a Diddy party, huh?
Then we
Nice.
can all get in on this.
BBO, I need the drop right now, man.
which
Good night,
one?
y'all.
No.
No did it. I said no did it. I say no did it. No did it.
And now since that drop done been played, we gotta say that my brother Mex, he done been saved, so get what? He don't like men. So go ahead, BBO.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women.
Nah. Shout out to my brother Mex.
Hey, and then that dude went back to being gay after that.
How come you don't let women part play? That's the best part.
Because we trying to get monetized. That's why we already try to give you a sneak of it. But I'll say this, man. Check out my man CDK, my OG with the kicks. The man with 1,000 pairs of shoes is gonna be on. Got a great testimony. God saved that young man's life and put him on a great path. And we call him Dub, aka Varnell Hill. But sometimes he turning to Brian Gumble on us. So I think Dub is gonna put on a terrific interview. I'm gonna try to stay up as long as I can because CDK got a special story. My Chi-Town brother that moved all the way to Tennessee, man. You guys don't want to miss it. Sports Talk Network. We one of the only black groups out there, man. Check us out. We doing it big. You got anything for me, Doug, before we go?
Hey man, I can't wait, man. CDK, we have him tonight. Like BBO said, y'all know when I do interviews, I like to get your story. It ain't even an interview. It's really, I'm just asking questions and we having a conversation. So, man, shout out to CDK for allowing me to interview him tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. Pull up 10:30, and it's gonna be a great show.
For sure. And definitely check out my brother B3 Picks as you play his commercial. We gone. Peace.
Man, you gotta shut the show down, brother.
You got B3 Picks here at it again. Proud to announce a brand new partnership with BVO Sports TV and B3BoxingPicks.com. Let's go green. At B3BoxingPicks.com, we provide pre-fight boxing picks of the week, but also live boxing betting options so we can make money pre-fight or during the fight betting on the beautiful sport of boxing. Join now, only $10 a week or $25 a month by visiting B3BoxingPicks.com for the membership. Also follow me on all socials at B3BoxingPicks. Follow my YouTube, Not Another Boxing channel, presented by B3 Picks. And shout out to the People's Network, the one and only Sports Talk Network. Let's go green.